What's up, YouTube? On this episode of Coddiwomple Overland, we're going to be exploring the sand cliffs of the Polar Mesa and making our way on into Colorado. Coddiwomple Overland is proudly powered by Cummins Off-road, where you can completely outfit your vehicle and still retain their lifetime powertrain warranty. We're also brought to you in part by Overland Vehicle Systems, Trail Rated Coffee, Skinny Guy Campers, and more Expo. Also, if you're looking for some of our merch, make sure and check out shop.overlandapparel.com. When we left you on the last episode, we made it to an incredible camp just outside of the North Temple Wash. The plan for today was to make our way out over the North Temple Wash and on over into Moab, where we're going to spend a little time before we tackled the Polar Mesa. On our way to Moab, we couldn't help but to stop and check out the abandoned Utah Launch Complex. This was a Cold War military substation where they test-fired missiles from 1964 to 1975. Right here we were actually standing on launch pad number 3. After checking out that true piece of American history, we found a shortcut across the desert to make our ride to Moab just a little bit faster. We made it into Moab in early afternoon, stopped and grabbed something to eat, a few souvenirs, and was heading east. The next stop was going to be Polar Mesa.
Muddy River. Oh, that's the Great River.
We followed Route 128 past the Dewey Bridge until we got to the north entrance of the Dome Plateau Trail. I think this trail is normally done in the opposite direction of what we did it, but we wanted to make sure that we made it to the sandstone caves in plenty enough time to have daylight. Located at the western end of this trail loop is a sandstone cliff with a series of caves along it, and this was actually one of the biggest reasons why we wanted to do this trail.
There's three. There's a little tiny one over there. So I think this is one of three of them. This is cool. We can just stay in here.
Yeah, we can camp in here. Nice and cool, protected.
Yeah.
I mean, people have come down here before to park the cars. The Gazelle will be just fine. Be a little uphill, but you know.
Oh.
I'm sure it's fine. Yes. There we go. That was just one over there looked like you could put like a statue on it. Yeah.
Actually, that's the reason why we went back to go to cut this video.
Hi. Welcome to the daylight.
Ta-da!
Hey,
Did not die.
That's surprising.
is it a big cave in there?
Oh yeah, it is. We get inside and we can stand up in there and you can walk all around.
Yeah.
What you doing?
So, after about 2,000 miles of bouncing through the desert, it was time for a couple things to start loosening up for the vibration. So, the sway bar inlays, where they attach the bolts that attach to the sway bar, started loosening up a little bit and making some noise. And I just tightened them back down.
Like I said before, there was a whole series of caves along this cliff face, and this one was by far the largest.
Oh, it's so cool. Don't go to the other one, but it's big.
Hey, someone glasses. Free.
I wouldn't have went with him. Why are you?
Wooden cap.
Climb through the fence.
The trail getting up to the caves was pretty easy, and we anticipated the rest of the trail to be pretty much like that. But by this time, the sun was getting lower in the sky, and it was time to start making our way back towards Blacktop. What we didn't realize was this trail was going to be a whole different animal on the southeastern side, especially in the dark. What started out as just bouncing across a semi-flat plateau turned into going across some ravines with some rock step-offs. As it got dark, the ravines got deeper and the step-offs became taller. We were using every device we had to help us navigate this trail and make sure that we were on the correct route and making our way back out of there.
We were able to see the sand caves, and that was pretty neat.
If either one of you guys get to a point where you want a spot, let me know and I'll stop and come back and spot you through.
We did make it off the plateau without any issues whatsoever, but we all really wished we'd have been able to do it in the daylight. We're sure it would have been a lot more fun and a lot more scenic. We may have to come back and do this one again. Tonight we would set up camp late and in the dark about a mile east of the Dewey Bridge. The next morning we woke up to a truly beautiful sight. The campsite that we had stumbled upon was completely amazing. We checked the forecast, and for the next few days the temperatures was going to be over 100 degrees and the winds was going to be over 50 miles an hour with potential sandstorms. With that, we decided to pack up and head east. The plan was to get into the mountains of Colorado. We were absolutely not going to hit an interstate and just be there in a few hours. We still had a little bit more desert to explore, and that's exactly what we were going to do for the rest of the day, but with total intentions of being in the mountains by the evening. We made our way down the beautiful Gold Mine Road, making our way towards the Dolores River. As we popped around the corner here to get our first view of the Dolores River, it was very beautiful, but it was also a little bit intimidating. It was intimidating because we knew we were going to have to cross it sooner than later.
Well, I guess it's time to get my feet wet.
I guess at this point we could have just drove on through it, because apparently other people had done the same. But it's always a good idea, if you don't know or if you aren't sure, go ahead and check it out. As muddy as this water was, I wanted to make sure that there was a bottom to it.
Yeah, you gotta go all the way over there though.
After assessing the situation, we decided that it wasn't going to be a big deal and crossing here wasn't going to be a problem at all.
Did you go all the way across?
No, but I could see all the way across.
Alright, where's he got the
Okay.
fishing rod?
That's a little deeper than he was talking.
Yeah, exactly.
We all made it through without any problems whatsoever. At this point, we began making our way around the rocky hillsides that met us on the eastern slopes of the Dolores. The trail that we were on led us along the Dolores River and then ultimately up a canyon called Buckhorn Draw. Now, we had found this on Guide GPS and it looked like a doable route, but we really didn't know because we couldn't find any other data or anybody else that had been on the trail. So we were kind of going in blind. We could tell right off that this trail was going to be narrow and it didn't get a whole lot of traffic. Not far off of Triangle Road, we found this old cabin that was built back into the mountain overlooking the Dolores River. After taking a step back in time, we continued our way along the trail. After passing the cabin, it was obvious that this trail gets very, very little use, which is really unfortunate because it does offer some amazing views of the river. By this point, the trail had gotten extremely narrow. Deb was making sure on the passenger side that we didn't drop a wheel off, and I was trying to keep the driver's side off of the rocks. Just up above us where it looks like it runs out, it actually turned left up across some huge loose boulders. Deb was in a perfect spot here to spot me and get some incredible footage, but her phone had overheated and we didn't get any of it from the outside. Next up was Kelly, and this was probably one of the more difficult things that we had done with the Power Wagon and the new skinny guy on the back.
We're going to have to back up a minute, but keep coming till I tell you. Come on, it's walking right where we need it to. Perfect. 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 Straighten up a little for me. Straighten up. Now, come to me. Straight up. Just a little crawl. It'll come. No, don't bump. Just crawl. Come my way. straighten up, straighten up. Come your way, go, there we go.
As you may remember, Joe's a full-timer, so he is packed pretty heavy. And what we didn't realize at this point was he actually had a broken spring. Joe normally travels with his wife and 3 kids, and they take a little more conservative routes than what this one is. He later told us that we were really testing his limits on this one. Even though we were testing his limits, you couldn't have beat the smile off of his face. That was the hardest section of the trail, but the rest of it was still somewhat challenging, very interesting terrain. There was rocks just splayed everywhere. It looked like a bomb had went off. This trail really was giving us everything that we were looking for. It had nice scenic views, it had water crossings, shelf roads, rock drop-offs, big loose rocks that you had to climb, and now it was throwing in steep hill climbs at us. In the typical Utah fashion, we topped the top of that steep climb, the terrain completely changed again. At this point, we had made our way onto Granite Road. We had fine-tuned our sights, and they were headed toward Ryan Creek Road in an attempt to get close to the Colorado border before dark. The closer we got to Ryan Creek, the more things started to look like Colorado.
Yeah, we cross that line, man. That temperature's going to drop and the wind is going to stop, right?
Oh yeah, that's the theory.
With the sun in our eyes, we made our way up out of Ryan Creek toward the Red Gap.
Put your fence right on the edge. Yeah.
You're good. Come on around, Kelly.
We found a pretty cool campsite within about 2 miles of the Colorado border, and that's where we decided to sit down for the night and enjoy the rest of the evening. After dinner, as we were hanging around the campfire, we were treated to an absolutely breathtaking moonrise.
Look at that moon coming up.
We hope you've enjoyed Utah as much as we have, and hope that you stay around for the continuation as we make our way into Colorado. As always, we love hearing from you in the comments below. And until next time, see ya.